So now what's happening is that the newspaper, when we went to court for the Supreme Court, the judge saw this inspector show up, but it's not the inspector of the original case of 2008. It's a new inspector.
So they decide to re-inspect.
No, they tried to, in the middle of the, instead of taking me to municipal court for mes abris temporaires and all this shit, they went straight to Supreme Court, and in there they threw in the judgment. Actually, they never showed the Supreme Court the judgment that I won. Okay. They showed them this mysterious paper that they had, that the bridge had to be demolished. That's why it got accepted in the Supreme Court.
Okay.
But when I got to the Supreme Court, and I showed the judge that I already won this case, the judge asked this inspector, "What are you doing here?" He goes, "Why are you here today?" He goes, "Were you in the first case of 2008? Yeah. He goes, "No." "Were you working for the municipality back then?" "No." "What are you doing here? Who was in charge?" And I told him, that inspector today is the mayor. He did like Michael Jackson. He sent Bubbles, the monkey, to come and defend this part, because how is he going to look in front of a judge stating, "Yeah, the municipal judge told me arrête toutes les procédures." So why did you become mayor a year later and brought me to court with this? In the Supreme Court hearing, when the judge told this inspector, "What's wrong, baby?" When he told this guy, Laurent Gourdeau, he goes, "Why are you here?" He goes, "For this bridge." He goes, "Well, I was told to come here." By who? And he stated, "Le Conseil."
So the Conseil sent this guy, Laurent
Gourdeau, the inspector.
Laurent. Okay, yeah.
Because the city, because he goes, it's Le Conseil who's asking to remove this bridge. Now, this mayor, Sylvain Breton, when he was inspector, that's the same thing he said to the municipal court in 2008. That he was sent because Le Conseil. But who runs this Conseil? The mayor. So meaning Richard Garden was telling the Conseil to tell this clown to come and harass me. That wasn't good enough because they lost. So the clown became mayor, and he sent another clown in this place. So $200,000 later, that's what it, for sure it must have costed them.
Yeah.
5 years. The only thing I got out of it was 2 newspapers, 3 judgments that I won, basically, 2 for my bridge, and in one of those 2 there's like 4 other cases in one, was all the abris temporaires, les véhicules, and all that crap. And I kind of won the case for my septic tank.
Yeah, let's talk about that case.
The case of the septic tank, a mysterious person made a complaint stating that I was shitting in the river. Now, as we all know, the river goes this way, right? Okay, well, there is an accès public. So somebody said that they saw shit in the river. I know for a fact I don't shit Johnson's or Evander Motors, so my shit doesn't travel upstream, it goes downstream. When they came and visit, they never found anything in the water.
Yeah.
What they did find was one tube for the gray water that broke. We had no clues to pass it to the 4-wheeler. Eventually, it cracked. So it's to just leak the gray water. So basically, my septic tank is okay. They tried to condemn my house. So I fixed it for $9, but I had to repair it. So I said, we'll go to court to see what happens. We got to court. Bottom line, they said it smelled. The lawyers brought me on the outside. They said there is witnesses, but they don't want to come in, not to start an argument. So just say it smelled and whatever. I said, you know what? No problem. Bottom line, we'll fix the septic tank. It shouldn't harm me. It does good for my home. But the judge stated, if I didn't have the money to do this, and the job is not done by July 15th of the summer, the city has the right to do the job for me, according to my finances, resources, because I'm on welfare, they can't charge me millions of dollars, to do the job and put on my taxe foncière. They said you have to put on my taxe foncière. So the city, I called them, I wrote them a handwritten letter. I said, listen, I don't have the money for it, do the job. I'm authorizing to do the job. But you guys have to cross by my property. You could use my bridge. Anyway, so the city, the court told him, due to his finances, you have to do according to, to help him out. So I called the guy to do the test on the earth. He came, and I told the guy, because the city wants to put a septic tank. Now, I have 4 kids. Most of the time, we're 6 people here. 4 days a week or 3 days a week with 6 people, if not a bit more. So I said a septic tank is not worth it because every 3 months it's going to cost me, especially going to put a 3,000 or 2,000 gallon tank, it's going to cost me $600-700 to empty it just because I'm on the other side of the river, right? So I said I don't have that money to pay for it. So I managed to get a subvention from the government, an emergency subvention, because I could have got a $10,000 subvention, but I saved that to do my foundations. Should have done next year. I took an emergency subvention for my septic tank. They gave me $6,000. So I figured $6,000, the rest, the city's going to put it in, right? So I found a septic system on the internet. It's called Envirolet. It's self-composting toilet beds. It's worth $6,000-7,000. You could do up to 20 people per day. It'll take you 6 months to empty. It's compost. So you can put it in the yard and it's perfect.
Yeah.
City didn't want that. Because they know that if I sold the house, I could take it with me. 20 cents, makes sense. And the guy who did the land survey, who tested my earth, he forced the city and told him, no, that's what you're putting, because it's his money, first thing. Second thing, he lives near the water. He goes, if you put a septic system, the water floods, the tank pops up.
Yeah.
He goes, but by putting that, he could put it in the house, the machinery. He can move it anywhere he wants, because it shoots up to 70 feet. So he doesn't have a problem. He can put it even on top of his house. So it's away. 50 cents.
No, you're supposed to say $100.
Oh, man.
That way you know you're never gonna pay.
Even at 50, it's the same. So, the contractors came. The city sent some contractors. Fox. The guy came in, he was telling me, oh, inquiète-toi pas, je vais passer par le pont de l'eau, je vais bâtir un pont. He's going to build a bridge next to mine. He's going to put cement blocks in the river, which I wasn't allowed to do, to come home with these guys. They're allowed to temporarily destroy the river, destroy somebody else's property, bribe him money, and put it on my bill.
Yeah.
So I told the guy, I said, why don't you just use my bridge? He goes, no, unless I pass from there, I don't do the job. I said, well, he goes, anyways, he goes, you don't decide. He goes, the city decides. I go, yeah, but it goes on my money. I go, so the check comes to me. So if you want the money, you're going to have to try to find a way to take it off my hands. Because I'm not going to give it to you. Try to keep ripping it apart. I won't sign it. So we have a problem. And I found a contractor. I told him to go secretly over there and make the contract. My contractor was able to do me the job. $24,000, including inside the $24,000, the $6,000 of subvention. $18,000 would have been left. He was going to use my bridge. To cross over my bridge, he was going to reinforce what he needs to reinforce. He was going to rent a little a tope pin. You know when you put behind the four-wheelers?
Backhoe.
Yeah, a little mini one that you could put behind the four-wheeler. That, because here it's sand. So you could basically, with an espresso spoon, you can start digging. He goes, I'm going to cross with that. It's going to save you money. He goes, if we get some people to help us transport the stuff, it's going to be a problem, you know? I told him, I'll help you. So I said, we're going to have to reinforce the bridge a bit. It's not a problem. I have the wood for it. But the city goes, I need a permit to reinforce my bridge. And they cannot give me a permit because my bridge is not confirmed. After I won 2 judgments, it's still not confirmed. And they don't give a shit what the Supreme Court judge says or what the other judge says, because I built it without a permit. But the judge said you refuse to give him a permit from day one.
So technically, that's the permit.